Hello, my lovelies. This is going to be some spiritual guidance and advice. Let's see what we've got from raising our vibration. What's the energy? Nice. Okay, so living with your purpose is about to bring you some cold, hard cash. Living with your purpose will bring you prosperity. So, do you know what your purpose is? I have a completely free course here on YouTube called Spiritual Gifting. All you got to do is watch all the videos all the way through, do the exercises in there, and take the little quiz after the very first video. And it's going to show you what you've got, what maybe you want to tap into. Spirit's asking you to make way for miracles. So some sort of doorway is opening for you by the end of the month. I do think that you're about to step into a completely different lifestyle. And I don't say that lightly. I feel like you are elevating. Things are changing in a big way for you by the end of October. And I feel like it has to do with really following your purpose, right? Stepping into who you are, what you're here to do. And by living in your purpose, Spirit's going to reward that, because not everybody does. Not everybody walks with purpose. Some people are lost and they have no idea how to figure things out. So I would highly suggest that if you do know what your purpose is, that you start actually living it, because once you do, Spirit's going to usher in these miracles. Remember, deep breaths might be necessary. Know that your breath connects you to life. So breath work is something that you can practice. It's a key element into doing what I do, channeling. So I channel when I read the cards. I channel outside of doing tarot when I do mediumship, things like that. So sometimes to open up the channel or the energy to allow it to flow, because we have energy points called chakras throughout our spinal column. We have the crown, the third eye, the throat, the heart, let's see, the sacral, the solar, the root. Okay, and so we need to be grounded, and then we need to do some really deep breaths in order to exhale all of the yucky energy that we get stuck with, and inhale some positive energy, and then start to clear your mind and see what comes in. And that is typically how I start to channel. So let's see, what else do we have going on this week? What's happening for the collective? What do they need to know from the Ascended Masters? We got 3 or 4 more. All right, Diana, focused intention. Exactly that. See, Spirit loves to give me confirmation, and I love to receive it. So focus your intention on what it is that you want. What do you want? Reminds me of a scene in The Notebook where Noah's telling Allie, forget what everybody else wants, forget what your parents want, forget what he wants, forget what I want. What do you want? Set your intentions. It's going to be really important. Think about what you desire and set your sights high. Expect the best possible outcome. Not the worst, the best, okay? And that is going to help you come into alignment with your desires, with your manifestations. Mary Magdalene, the teacher, awakens. You have something important to share, right? Because you have spiritual gifts and the world needs them more than ever. So follow the inner call and don't let anything stop you, right? You're here to live with purpose, not to live without purpose and utter chaos and confusion. And Freya, cycles and changes. Words. Okay, Freya, phases and cycles. There we go. There is a beginning within every ending. Illusions are being revealed and released, right? So when we breathe deep, we're inhaling new energy, right? And we're exhaling all of the yuck, right? So get all the yucky shit out so we can complete this phase. And Kernunos, the life force. Express your driving passion. Sensual and sexual powers are increased. This card always makes me think of Aries energy. I think Kernunos is associated with that. And it makes me think of mating season or the rut. And I think the rut is where the males, the bucks, would actually fight with their antlers, and then they fight for territory, right? And then they fight for females because they're ready to mate. They're ready to create the next generation. So some of you in the collective, I feel like, are doing just that, right? You're looking for a mate. Maybe you're ready to settle down. The kids call it cuffing season, right? And so we're going into the holidays, right? And then there's this, I have family functions and parties and things. I don't want to show up alone, right? So maybe you're looking for companionship. Sometimes it lasts past the end of the year and sometimes it does not. So I feel like it's important that there's some cycles that need to kind of leave your life so that new ones can begin. Follow your passions and follow your calling. Okay. What do we need to know from the angels, Spirit? What is the message for my collective? Thank you, angels. Yep. They're trying to communicate. So are you listening? Are you listening? Do you hear them? Because they're in your ear all the time. It's going to sound like a familiar voice. Hell, it might even sound like your own voice. That's how mine typically sounded to me. Hiccups for confirmation. Thank you, Spirit. So Spirit's asking, are you listening? They're always trying to communicate. If you ask for a sign, if you ask for confirmation, they're going to give it to you, but they're going to give it to you in a way they think you're going to understand. If it's not clear enough when you receive signs, ask them for something that's crystal clear. I've had to do that a few times too, where it's like, I don't understand what you're telling me. And that happens, you know, because we're not masters down here just yet, right? Like we've got to figure things out and then we ascend all the way. So I feel like Spirit's trying to communicate with you. So very important that you listen, right? And then you will receive the downloads, the information, the thoughts, the intuition. So it's incredibly important that you quiet your mind. Maybe you need some breath work and you need to open those chakras, those energy portals, so Spirit can connect with you. And that way you can receive the messages, right? So Spirit's advice is that you need to raise your vibration. How do you do that? There's lots of ways to do that. One of my favorites is to go connect with nature, okay? Go get in fresh air, sunshine. If you're able to take your shoes off and touch the earth, the grass, the water, sand, anything that is natural, it's not man-made. Barefoot is best, but if you can't, you know, do what you can do. So I'm almost always barefoot. Unless I have to leave my house to like go in public somewhere, I'm almost always barefoot. I touch the earth regularly several times a day, you know, and even in wintertime when there's snow, sometimes I'm outside and I'll go barefoot real quick just to ground, and then I'm good. I come back inside and I warm up. So ground your energy often, right? Because what happens is when your feet touch that soil, all of a sudden you're releasing all of that negative energy out of your body and you're replacing that with positive electromagnetic frequency. So it's incredibly important. So breath work, meditation, prayer, grounding, all of those things are going to help you to raise your vibration. And Spirit's advice is you need to raise your vibration so that they can communicate with you. So do it. Blessings and abundance will follow, okay? But we have to do the hard work in order to connect. And then they're making way for miracles for you. So you've got to be open to receive. So the question is, are you ready to receive or not? One more of these, angels, please. Thank you. Love it. Manifestations. What was one of your first cards talking about? By living with prosperity, or by living in your purpose, excuse me, you are welcoming in prosperity. You might have a gazillion manifestations out there waiting to come and get you, right? But if you're not at the right vibrational match, they can't come in, right? There's like this wall. Spirit is making way for miracles. So by you doing your part and following through with all those things, Spirit's able to bring in a lot of these beautiful blessings, abundance, your manifestations, connection, right? It's worth your time. So do the work. All right. Signs, symbols, and synchronicities. Spirit, what do we have? What are the signs, symbols, and synchronicities? Thank you. The Sphinx. What was I saying about you're about to elevate, right? Royalty. You might be of royal status in the spiritual realm, okay? Spirit might be trying to tell you that you have some sort of sacred purpose. Maybe you are a keeper of knowledge and you hold these things and something's just waiting to kind of flick that light bulb on so that you're able to actually fulfill your calling. So I would say that it's in your best interest to actually do some of this deep breathing, setting your intentions, meditation, releasing some things, and watch the doors of opportunity start to flow in. So the Sphinx, sacred status, royalty, strength, authority, the lion, enigma, or mystery. Nah, you might be a little bit mysterious. That's all right. The totem pole tells us that you might be a bridge between the natural, the human, the animal, and the supernatural, right? Because they're all intertwined and they're all connected. What was I saying about a light bulb? Thank you for the confirmation, Spirit. So there's some sort of breakthrough, right? The idea, the creativity. Maybe there's been something holding you back and ooh, the light bulb clicks on, right? So creativity, breakthroughs, intelligence, inventions. What if you're going to create like the cure to cancer or something crazy, you know, just by maybe, I mean, that would be a stretch for some people, but I feel like what we're doing is we're in this creative energy, right? We're in the age of Aquarius. It's all about innovation, technology, advancements, changes, and changes that help the collective. It's not just a one and done. It's more than that. So Spirit's asking you to get grounded, okay, to find your stability. The anchor would tell us that we are safe. So maybe safety is an issue. That's your root chakra that needs some balance if you don't feel safe. You are resilient. You are going towards stability. Find your confidence, your strength, because new adventures await you. Your sacral chakra might also need some help. So the root, the sacral, all of them probably. Creativity, pleasure, and sexual health. So we're going to balance our chakras and get them in alignment. What was I saying? You might be the keeper of sacred knowledge, the scroll. Maybe somebody is going to learn some new things, right? So however that happens to come about, but sacred knowledge and learning, lots of intelligence here. One more, the Akashic Records. Through meditation, you might be tapping into your Akashic Records, right? It's the library of knowledge, the keeper of secrets, they keep telling me. They show me like a hallway with bookcases that go floor to ceiling, and they're massive. So like 30, 40 feet tall. And there's all these little like books or folders all across these shelves, right? And it just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. And in the Akashic Records is a record of all of your soul's lifetimes and incarnations on this planet and elsewhere. And that you can tap into the wisdom that your soul has learned from all of your lifetimes at different points, right? So think of it as you have to elevate to a certain level before you're able to go view some of those things. I've tapped into a few of mine over the years through meditations, and it's incredible. It's like you see things in a totally different light, and not everybody is ready to access them immediately, so it can take some time. So don't lose patience if it doesn't happen immediately. But Spirit's advising that you might need to tap into that to gain some sacred knowledge. Love it. Okay, let's see. I have one more deck. Two more decks. All right, what do we have going on this week? What signs do I need to see? Symbols and synchronicities, and signs to not ignore. Signs to not ignore. What is happening for the collective at the time that they see this? What are the signs they need to pay attention to? Somebody might want to put a label on it. What was I saying about cuffing season? More confirmation, right? Spirit loves to give us that. With Kernunos, right? Following your passions, the rutting season or mating season. So questioning everything and needing some answers. Spirit's going to give you the answers, right? Maybe there's a big temptation that's in your life that you're unsure of. Well, ask for signs about that. Ask for clarification. Spirit, is this person for me? Spirit, should I steer clear? Are they the devil, you know? Somebody could be in the doghouse as well. There might be some arguments, some anger, no contact or separation, because Spirit may want you to cut the cords. So cut those cords. If they're not good for you, that means you need to let them go, as painful as that might be, okay? Shed your skin and grow, transform. I feel like you also need to really ground your energy. It says snake, ground, shed your skin, transform, and rebirth. We're in the year of the wood snake. It's time to let some things go. Why? Why? Because we're about to cross the motherfucking finish line, kids, okay? So you're completing a difficult cycle in your life. You're learning the lesson. That's what's allowing you to grow. That's what's allowing you to shed your skin so that you are able to actually transform. One more. The dream team. I feel like they're replacing that with somebody so much better, right? Maybe that's the miracle you need. Perfect fit, winning combination, the dream team. follow your true north, okay? You're not lost. Even if you're wandering around feeling like you are lost, you will find your way to exactly who or where you are meant to be. What else do we need to see, Spirit? What is happening? What do we need to see? Yeah, yep, can't make this up if I tried. Death and the Knight of Cups. You got to end what's not working for you for love to find you, okay? Maybe this is the miracle that you're looking for. Maybe you've been habitually single for years and you're over it, right? And you just want to find your person. Let go of what's not serving you. Cut the cords where you need to so that love can come in. One more. What else? There will be some sort of communication, but this could be from somebody that you're trying to leave behind. So if you don't want to talk to them, block them, okay? Because somebody's getting ready to take brave action. I do feel like now they want to put in the work where I feel like they haven't wanted to before. Hanged Man in reverse, okay? So you're setting yourself free. You are cutting the cords somewhere. And remember that you've waited a long time for these things to change. So allow the change to come in, allow the proof, the clarity, the truth to come in and rectify the situation. I feel like Spirit's got a lot up their sleeve, okay? They've got an ace in the hole. So all you have to do is connect, breathe, and do the hard work. Have a great rest of your week.